remember the time we did a show at the World Bank?
I do.
Yes.
There was a
awesome organization, by the way. I can't no disrespect to them.
And a wonderful person named Shauna who was the agent for it. I
guess the only criticism that I have of the World Bank after this experience is their security.
Yes.
Their security guards. We've performed at we've performed at the J. Edgar Hoover Building, embassies,
Census Bureau.
The Census Bureau. That was very high security. Getting all of your magic props scanned when you go through security is an interesting experience. But at the World Bank, they must be guarding something very, very secret.
Yeah.
Because the circumstances were we got separated.
So we showed up and they had two name badges that said Peter Wood. Right?
Yep, that's right. That's right. And I am not Peter Wood.
Only one of us is Peter Wood.
Thank God.
So in hindsight, you probably should have just stuck to Peter Wood and said, our parents named us the same. Go figure. But so then I guess
we were at the parking garage that's under it in the back of the building.
Right.
And our contact,
the show was happening up in the atrium or so you went with one security person to try and get a name badge.
Yeah, they had me walk all around the building to the front entrance of the main security desk.
Right.
Because we were trying to go in the parking entrance. Sure. And they said, that my badge wasn't valid, so I had to go around the front and get a guest pass, which seemed totally reasonable. And we're, we're always about being flexible, and
But all of Shauna's planning had been assuming that we would be going through this service entrance. So now we're separated. I am driving deep in the garage under the World Bank in D.C., where the cell signal is non-existent. Yeah. And I don't know where Matt is at this point.
So I'm in front, dressed like a magician, which is not. I mean, I guess I had a vest and a tie on, and my black and white spats.
No cape.
There wasn't a cape or a top hat, or I didn't have a rabbit, but I wasn't. I definitely wasn't going to work at the World Bank.
Sure.
But so I get there and I say, here's my contact, and I need a visitor pass. And they say, what is the purpose of your visit? And I say, well, I'm doing a magic show for the family day today. And they're like, really? Where are your props? And I was like, well, my brother has those. He's the magician, actually. I'm just the assistant. So he has the vehicle, and he's in the parking garage. And so it's actually my brother that's the magician. And the security guard said, well, where's your brother now? And I was like, I don't know, actually. I've called him, but he doesn't have cell service. And I'm realizing that I'm in a very precarious spot with no documentation of my reason for being there. And no way I didn't have our contact's number.
Yep.
So we debated this for a little while. I think there was some pulling up a website to show that I was on the Shazam Magic website and I was credible, but that wasn't quite good enough. And I had this badge that said Peter Wood, but I didn't have an ID that said Peter Wood. My ID says Matthew Wood.
That's right.
That's my ID.
Trying to break in.
Yeah. So there was a long explanation. By that point, you were through. Maybe you were up in the atrium and had cell service.
Right.
And I think Shauna came.
Right.
And saved me.
Well, because by the time Shauna came expecting to meet the both of us, and there's just me, and I say, I don't know what happened to my brother. She was like,
I paid for two magicians.
Right.
And so she came and explained the whole thing to security.
Right.
And the elegant solution that they came up with that fit their security protocol was to take a Sharpie and cross out Peter on the one badge and write Matthew and hand it to me.
So now,
and then I walked in to all the secrets. I also remember Shauna is the only one who has read our tech rider to its fullest,
Sure.
and done all of the things.
And we know that because after all of that hell that we went through, we get there and backstage, Shauna has for Matt and I a bowl of green M&Ms.
Oh my god!
And if
So
you are
good.
either in show business or know anything about rock history, that is legendary. Maybe it was blue M&Ms. Or anyway, point is,
She said her and her kids sorted M&Ms for this thing, which
so now we're eating M&Ms that a bunch of kids had
Yeah.
picked over, but at that point it didn't matter.
and they tasted
So-
wonderful.
And the show was great.
It was a great show. Yeah,
And neither of us got stuck there. So we got the fact that security was
They
weird.
let
on
us
the way
leave
in,
at least.
Yeah.
And we got paid.
We got paid. Turns out the World Bank has money, so that was all good.